Krishna Hare Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami 89 Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Vichari nirvikāraḥ Samanvādī Om Madhyana Shri Chaitanya Manavishna Stapita Vijaya Bhutale Sanya Rupakadama Yavadati Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedadhari Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Srimad Bhagavad-gītā ki jai. So we are reading from Bhagavad-gītā, which is chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation, text 26 to 28. Mukta-saṅgo nahaṁ-vādī dhṛty-utsāha-samanvitaḥ siddhy-asiddhyor nirvikāraḥ kartā sāttvika ucyate. One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in a mood of goodness. So the Prabhupada purport: a person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material moods of nature. He has no expectations for the result of the work entrusted to him, because he is above false ego and pride. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He does not care for success or failure. He is equal in both distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in a world of goodness. So Krishna is describing the activities and the performer of the activities, and where we belong. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapil Muni also has the same similar description, where he was teaching his mother. Although devotional service is transcendental, beyond the modes, but those of us who are practicing Krishna conscious activities, we belong to modes. Therefore, we do our activities in two modes. Therefore, Kapil Muni described devotional service which is performed in a mode of passion, in a mode of ignorance, in a mode of goodness. And then he described transcendental devotional service. It looks exactly like what Krishna is describing here. One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature. Activity which are not within the modes of material nature is sāttvika. Activity. Activity which are not within the three modes of material nature is transcendental activity. Kapil Muni described an activity in the mode of goodness, and activity in transcendence. Activities in transcendence are performed like here, mukta-saṅgo, nahaṁ-vādī. It is performed without the three modes: no ignorance, no passion, no goodness. What is the motivation? What motivates the activity in transcendence, which has nothing to do with the modes? Just the desire to please the person whom we are doing the service for. That's the transcendence, transcendental activity. It has nothing to do with us, the performer. When it has to do with us, then we have to check how it benefits me, because I wouldn't like to do something which I will not gain. But transcendental activity has nothing to do with the person, the performer, the living entity who is performing the activity. It has only to do with who is the enjoyer of that activity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is transcendence. So Kapil Muni said it's like Ganges water flowing into the sea. There is no obstruction. There is no impediment for such activities. There is no single impediment. Activities in the mode of goodness, it is done out of fear of suffering. If I do something sinful, I'm going to suffer for it. Therefore, out of fear that I will not incur sin and suffer for it, so one will not do certain activities. One will take to auspicious activities. Not really that I want to give pleasure to the Supreme Lord, but activity in the mode of goodness. It is said here, it is out of, it is done without the association of the modes of material nature, without false ego, without or with great determination and enthusiasm, without wavering. When one is fixed, it is fixed. We are not care if it's going to bring good or bring bad. If it is good, it's all right. If it is bad, it's all right. That activity is transcendental. It is transcendental. It is done only when a person knows who is the supreme enjoyer, whom we are doing the activity for. Therefore, one does not whimsically do it. One does not do it whimsically. Because if I'm not expecting anything from you, I will do it anyhow. I'm not getting anything from you anyway. Therefore, my interest in doing it will not be wonderful. That is not the case. Here, full attention is given to the activity, full concentration is given to the activity with the quality to see that we give pleasure to the person whom we are doing that service for. Therefore, one does not worry about the failure or success, because when we are worrying about how it will be, our interest will come in, because we don't like to be a failure. In the modern sense, we don't understand what is success, and we don't understand what is failure. A devotee who is above the mode understand what is success, what is a failure. For example, a devotee having a strong desire to, for example, construct a wonderful beautiful temple for Lord Krishna to be worshipped. He has a strong desire, not just whimsical desire or having such a desire without working towards it. The one is working towards such a wonderful desire to do something that will really glorify Lord Krishna's supremacy, like Yudhishthira Maharaj. He performs sacrifice, not because he's a king, not because he wants to show his supremacy over other rulers. He told Lord Krishna, I am doing this sacrifice just to establish you as the supreme personality of Godhead, so that people will have a chance to glorify you. That is the only reason I'm doing this sacrifice. For such a person, even if he did not materially succeeded in doing it, he is considered successful because Krishna has already accepted the offering from his heart. So once a devotee asked me, a devotee had been given an assignment by the spiritual master. I will give an assignment. And then the devotee tried. He tried his best. He worked very seriously. But the goal was not achieved. So he asked me, will I consider that success? I said yes. He said, why? Because there was no result. There's no result to present. I said, I will consider it success because he has made an attempt. He tried his best. That means that Krishna has already accepted the effort he has made. And this verse reminds us particularly about Srila Prabhupada. If one would look at Srila Prabhupada's life for years before he came to US, one will not consider Prabhupada a successful person. Because every single attempt he made to preach Krishna consciousness was a failure. Everything. Right from the beginning, from his business to his family, to Jhansi, when he went and started the League of Devotees, everything coming to join his god brothers in Mathura, in Vrindavan, in Delhi, everything was a failure. Even coming to America, it was still a failure. The first Ratha Yatra Prabhupada established was a failure. The car broke down on the way. But he didn't give up. He didn't give up. Dhṛty with determination, utsāha and great enthusiasm. Siddhi in perfection, asiddhyor and failure. It is said here, kartā sāttvika, ucyate. He never considered his attempt was a failure. But he had enough experience for him to say, no, Lord Krishna, you see, I have tried. So there's no fault in my part. I can end it here. But he continued. This enthusiasm. Why will make a person to try up to this level? It is because he knows a goal and he is a selfless worker. He was not expecting anything for himself. He was not preaching to make money, to make disciples, to be famous. He was simply carrying out the order of his spiritual master. This enthusiasm. This is determination. This is a worker who is doing things outside the true mode of materialization. Therefore, he became successful. A successful worker is one who has pleased Lord Krishna with his sincere service. So Prabhupada himself is saying here, a person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. He has no expectation for the result of the work entrusted to him. No expectation. He's simply doing his duty. Even if we are chanting Hare Krishna to be happy, it's not pure. If you are chanting Hare Krishna to escape suffering, so we can go to Vaikuntha, it is not pure. If you are chanting Hare Krishna so we can transcend the moods, it is not pure. If you are chanting Hare Krishna just because we want to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is pure. It is pure. It is transcendental. Such japa would give one pure love of Godhead because it will attract the attention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pure representatives, who will bless us when they see our strong determination, based with sincere effort, and we're not expecting anything of what we do. We're not expecting that we're going to be transferred to Goloka. We're not expecting that we're going to be given position. We're not expecting anything, just that work alone. That is transcendental. He has no pride, he has no false ego. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. This is Prabhupada. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He has repeated the word enthusiastic 2 times in this purport. He does not care for success or failure. He is equal in both distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in a mode of goodness. Rāgī karma-phala-prepsur, lubdho hiṁsātmako śuciḥ, harṣa-śokānvitaḥ kartā, rājasaḥ, parikīrtitaḥ. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in a mood of passion. Purport. A person is too much attached to a certain kind of work or to the result because he has too much attachment for materialism or health and home, wife and children. Such a person has no desire for higher elevation in life. He is simply concerned with making this world as materially comfortable as possible. He is generally very greedy, and he thinks that anything attained by him is permanent and never to be lost. Such a person is envious of others and prepared to do anything wrong for sense gratification. Therefore, such a person is unclean, and he does not care whether his earning is pure or impure. He is very happy if his work is successful, and very much distressed when his work is not successful. Such is the worker in a mode of passion. This description perfectly reminds us of the demon Krishna described in chapter 16. One who obtained his means or her means illegally is a demon Krishna described in chapter 16. One who does not know what to be done and what to be done is a demon described in chapter 16. Everything he does has to disturb other people's life. His success means the downfall of others. It's a demon. And it is perfectly happening in this world. If you look at Bhagavad Gita, with the eye of Bhagavad Gita and look into the world, you see everything perfectly, perfectly manifesting. Then we have people who are ready to commit all kinds of sinful activities in the name of making money. And they never one day thought that they're going to leave the body. It is surprising to see. We have so many members, so many members who are working. And we saw what is going on in the factory. It's amazing. I have asked many of them, do we ever think that you're going to die one day? Have you ever asked yourself, even remember one day that you're going to die? Because when we look at the intensity of their work, the amount of energy they put into their work, the amount of money they are getting, and the greed they still have over the money they are making, the one they have made, and the one they are still going to make, the greed, the effort, they don't sleep. They hardly sleep. Even though their so-called enjoyment, their so-called holiday, it is still hard work. Planning and planning and planning and planning what to do sleeplessly. Like ants. Ants are so busy that they don't sleep in the night. So we have our civilization has made us to become like ants, struggling with ants. Not sleeping, not eating. What we eat is nothing. We struggle so much so that anxiety has taken away our appetite. Not anxiety of poverty, the anxiety over acquiring material facilities has taken away our appetite, our comfort, our sleep. That we don't even sleep in the night. We're suffering from so many things, insomnia. That anxiety constantly breaks our sleep in the night. Anxiety, or gaining material facilities for sense gratification. So Krishna is saying here that our activities are predominantly in the mode of passion and ignorance today. Predominantly. The mode of goodness has gone. Very rare to see mode of goodness. Even if you see mode of goodness, it is still controlled by passion and ignorance. A so-called pious person is still very greedy. So where is the goodness? And some of them may do a little charity, going to feed or poor people and build a free hospital for people. Although they are doing these wonderful activities, wonderful pious activities, helping the poor, but they are also destroying so many people's lives in their factory. So what is the pious activity they are doing? They keep people in their factory working like animals. And they think that they're very intelligent. By using small amount of what they are earning to do so-called charity for few people, while they are committing more sin than the charity they are doing. So goodness is gone. That attachment we have for gratification. People are traveling from one city to another city. Not for God. It takes a lot of trouble to travel, not for preaching, but to look for more facility for sense gratification, or to find a better place for them to gratify their senses. I was in Brazil and we were traveling to one city in Brazil and you have to climb mountain. Very, very risky. If you fall from there, you are finished. So while we were going, I was looking at the whole environment. And what was coming to my mind was, the greed people have for sense gratification, they are climbing this mountain to come and find just a better place for sense gratification. They're not doing this thing to look for God. Like people are going to Himalayas. It's a different thing. People are climbing Himalayas to go and search for God. The opposite is the case here. People are climbing all this mountain and spending a lot of money to make a road to the place. For what? To find a better place to gratify the senses. I was just looking at that. I was just laughing in my mind. You see, the enthusiasm of the karmis, the determination of the karmis to gratify the senses, it is very, very high. Very, very high. That if we can use just 1% for God, our life will be successful. That determination, we don't have it. That greed, we don't have it. That enthusiasm, we don't have it. That attachment, we don't have it. So if a devotee can learn from the karmis, or sense gratifiers, what should we learn from them? If you can take the enthusiasm, if you can take the attachment, if you can take the determination, and the intelligence for planning how to gratify the senses, you can take all these qualities from them and apply it in Krishna consciousness. Our enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness, our attachment to Krishna conscious activities. Our Krishna conscious life was so wonderful, meaningful, and very, very contagious, that whoever comes in contact with us will have nothing but Krishna consciousness to give. They are very envious. And Prabhupada said this in, he translated this word grihamedi. In the second canto of Bhagavatam, he translated this word grihamedi as those who are jealous of each other. Grihamedis are those who are envious of each other, jealous of each other. Envious. Impure. Because our activities are not meant for pleasing anyone but our senses. So, we just want to get the result of what to do. And we cannot do anything without selfish interest. Without any selfish interest, we are not ready to do anything. To do anything, we want to see what will be my gain. So Prabhupada told us how when he was preparing to establish his movement, he asked some of his friends, he had many children, can you give me one to support my Krishna consciousness? So was Swamiji. What would be the benefit of my son becoming a devotee of Krishna? What would be the benefit? Just to play Mridanga and calculus? That's all? What will I gain from that? My son should be professional in something, some field. So I'll be very proud to introduce my son. This is my son, he's an engineer. This is my son, is a lawyer. This is my son, is this. This is my daughter, he's married to this too. What will I introduce this child given to you as a beggar? What will be the gain? So, we are not ready to do anything without our personal benefit. So, we are fructive. So, Kapil Muni said, he calls us separatists. Separatists. Separatists, devotional service in the mode of passion, devotional service in the mode of ignorance are practiced by separatists. We are practicing, but what some gain. We're expecting some result. The separatists, we are practicing, but we are not doing it for Krishna. We are doing it for our own self. In fact, we don't even remember there is God. If there is God, the God should be the one who is fill my belly. It's a separatist. There's no question of renunciation. There's nothing like renunciation. It's beyond our understanding. It's a separatist. Even if we take to Krishna consciousness without mentality, we are considered separatists. The people are talking about devotees who are in Krishna consciousness. We are practicing in ignorance. We are practicing in passion. We are practicing in goodness and transcendental devotion. Separatists. Very lazy. Separatist is very lazy. Ayukta prakrita saddha sātu naishkrititu lasa. These are the dhīra sutricha kartā tamasa ucyate. The worker who is always engaged in work against the injunctions of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others. One who is lazy, always morose, and procrastinating is said to be a worker in a mode of ignorance. In the scriptural injunctions, we find what sort of work should be performed and what sort of work should not be performed. Those who do not care for those injunctions engage in work not to be done. And such persons are generally materialistic. They work according to the modes of nature, not according to the injunctions of the scripture. Such workers are not very gentle, and generally they are always cunning and expert in insulting others. They are very lazy. Even though they have some duty, they do not do it properly, and they put it aside to be done later on. Therefore, they appear to be morose. They procrastinate. Anything which can be done in an hour, they drag it on for years. Such workers are situated in a mode of ignorance. It's another one, another description which perfectly befits the demon described in chapter 16. One who does not know what to do and what should not do. One who is not clean is a demon, going to Bhagavad Gita. Procrastinating, laziness is a demon. Lazy that an activity which could be done in 1 hour to take the whole day to do, or even weeks, or a month, or a year. Oh, we'll do it later. Oh, we'll do it later. We'll do it later. That's ignorance. One who is in the mode of ignorance procrastinate due to laziness. And very insulting, because we don't have proper behavior. We don't have a scriptural injunction. We don't do things based on the scripture. So, whatever we do is very, very detrimental to ourselves and to others. It's very dangerous. We do activities which are very dangerous. We do things which are not for our self-interest. Because it's not for our own self-interest, because we don't know who we are. We do things which are not for our own self-interest. Not even for the self-interest of others. By taking care of our senses only and working towards gratifying the senses only, we live a very dangerous life. So Krishna is saying here that we are working in ignorance. In the beginning, In the beginning, we should have focus. For us to have a focus, yes, let us go back to Godhead. That should be the goal. I want to go back to Godhead. And like you said, yes, Prabhupada said that many times. Even we have this slogan, come back to Godhead. The Prabhupada gave it that. That should be the goal. So it is not bad. It is not bad. We should have that desire. All of us, we should have that desire to go back to Godhead. That's the goal. So we can render better service for Krishna. That's perfect. If you will go higher than that, when we have practiced Krishna consciousness to a very high level, we have seen how devotees who have reached a certain level, how they express their desire towards Krishna. Like Dhruva Maharaj. In the beginning, he was not even desiring to go back to Godhead. He just wanted something material, a kingdom. But when he met Krishna, he regretted seriously and begged Krishna to forgive him for desiring such things. And he told Krishna, I'm sorry. My intelligence were influenced by some envious demigod. Therefore, I have asked you for something which is completely useless. Forgive me for this offense. Now I don't want it again. What is he looking for now? He said, I have seen varieties of forms, all the creation of Brahma, I have seen all. But this one I'm seeing before me is a base of Brahma's work. I have never seen this before. So since that I have gotten this is all I want. I want nothing else. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying, I don't want anything else from you, Krishna. For Krishna, I don't want anything from you. I simply want devotional service to you, birth after birth. That means he's not looking for liberation. He doesn't want anything except service to Krishna. So wherever that service will take us to, that is all we want. So here we are talking about the ultimate, the different level of devotional service of Krishna consciousness. So in the beginning, to have that desire to go back and back to God is perfect and complete, and we should have it. Then, at a later stage, when we reach such a level, then we can pray like this. We'll be able to also see that even to have the desire to go back on that, that's the reason why I'm chanting Hare Krishna, so I can be happy, so I can be free from miseries, so I can go back and back to Godhead. That will become secondary thing. It won't have a meaning again to devotees who have reached a certain level. That is what we are talking about. Is it okay, Mataji? Lord Krishna gave Dhruva Maharaj 36,000 years to enjoy the senses, but he said without impediment. What is that? Krishna is here glorifying the super excellent nature of bhakti. Demigod can never give one this boon. Only Krishna can do it, and it comes only through devotional service. This is one thing. Second thing, he is a prince, and he has to rule. So his father was living. So it is Dhruva Maharaj, his stepbrother is already gone. So it's only him to rule. So Krishna asked him to do the management. He ruled and get also children to represent him. Then Krishna gave him his kingdom, what he has desired for, which is not destructible. So Krishna gave him both things, both. So he got both material without impediment, There is 6,000 years to gratify the senses to the fullest extent without impairment, and back to Godhead at the end. So he got both of them. And here, when Dhruva Maharaj is leaving the body, something wonderful happened. He is the second person I have seen in Bhagavatam that never changed his body when he's leaving the planet. Yes. The Pandavas went back without changing their body. Dhruva Maharaj also, he went without changing his body. What is that? Purity or devotional service. Krishna is establishing here. Then, another thing. Usually, Yamara would send his constables to go to people who are leaving the body. Here, Yamara came himself personally to bid him farewell. Miss was happy, Yamara was happy to see a devotee. Bhagavad Gita Swami said, when Yamaraj appeared, Dhruva Maharaj was not afraid. I know very well, none of us would like to invite Yamaraj to come for our birthday, on our birthday. but Dhruva Maharaj, he saw Yamaraj, he was not afraid, he was very happy to see, because a devotee, they're happy to see each other. And what did he do? He simply supported Dhruva Maharaj to enter into Vaikuntha, a plane. The Vishnu Duta, they told Yamaraj, see, nobody in your family member has ever attained this. You are the only person. What is that? The glory of pure devotional service, Krishna consciousness. So Dhruva Maharaj got both. So period. So not that Krishna just gave him the material thing. No, he didn't just give him that. He gave him what a special benefit, a special position. He got all of them, both material and spiritual, without impediment. So we can have confidence in Krishna and be fixed in our devotional service, because it is not only Dhruva Maharaj that will have this experience. Any one of us in this process stands to have the same experience if you follow the same thing like Dhruva Maharaj. A Brahmana who is supposed to be in goodness, chanting so many mantras, can be in ignorance, because he is doing that. I have seen this in my country, where we have so many supposed Hindu families who are very expert in chanting so many mantras. They're supposed to be pure, studying the scriptures, but the activity does not show that they are in goodness. One, they don't even know the purpose of the mantra they're chanting. They're simply chanting because that is what they have been doing in their family. So they're simply following that. They don't know the goal. What is the goal of the mantra they're chanting? You don't know. And they are doing this for the rest of their own lifetime. What do they think they are going to gain? Are they sure they will go back to heaven or to Vaikuntha? No. They don't even want to go to Vaikuntha. They're simply wanting to go to heaven. That's all. That's what they are expecting. So the purpose of all those mantras for the whole lifetime they're doing is just to go to heaven. And we've been sure that heaven they will go there because their piety is not enough. So it is possible that many people who are considered to be in the mode of goodness can also be in ignorance. It's possible. I have asked one friend, he is a priest, a Hindu priest, and he is usually invited to perform rituals for different functions. So he invited us to participate with him. So I went. While I was sitting there, he was doing fire sacrifice. And he was chanting so many mantras. I listened to the mantra he was chanting. He was simply not chanting. He was just murmuring something. And people were very, very happy that here is a powerful priest chanting mantra to purify their house. But he was not chanting the mantra. At the end of the mantra, so I called him, I said, my friend, what this mantra I chant? He knew I got him, so he couldn't tell me lie. He said, these people, they are fools. Just light fire for them, and that's all. That's what I was doing. He was not chanting the mantra perfectly. You were simply murmuring something, and people were sitting there foolishly accepting that. Because the fire is burning. You see, don't light fire for them. Let the fire burn, and you throw the grains inside for them. That's all. Just work out. That's what he does. And he is wearing Brahman thread, and he's a priest. So, would that take him to heaven? No, I doubt it. One man, the father was telling him, let us go and offer obeisance to Ganesh. Let's go to temple. The boy asked the father, what will Ganesh do for me? What should I go and worship Ganesh? For what? The father said, oh yes, Ganesh will remove obstacles for your life. You have a good life, you have a good job, you have a good... The boy said, I already have a big qualification, I already have a big job, and my salary is enough for me. So why should I go for Ganesh again? The father couldn't convince him. So if he cannot convince his boy, that means that what has he himself been going to do with Ganesh? And other pujas, the ceremony have been going all these years. He is simply doing it ritualistically. So we can also do the same thing even in Krishna consciousness. Do so many ritualistic activities without going deep into the essence. The essence of bhakti comes when one has unflinching faith in both Krishna and Guru. Only such persons can understand the essence of what we do. Unflinching faith. So it is possible that those of us who are said to be in goodness can also act in ignorance. When something happens, then our position will be exposed. When we have some challenges. So that is there. Jai Prabhupada.